Hello everyone and welcome to an episode of Spill the Tea, a series on my channel where I bring someone on and we just chat about topics that are on our mind. Today's topic, anxiety.
Anxiety.
Spill the anxiety. I just came off of a very, very bad sickness. I could barely move yesterday and the day before that. Don't know how. New York really messed me up. I now have my voice back and I'm about 75% better. So if I have a voice crack or something, it's because of that, or I hit puberty again. So got a beard hair.
I think it's important to mention that neither of us have
Daily
fully diagnosed anxiety. I think that's
really important.
That's an important thing to, there's a separation between full-on, diagnosed daily anxiety, something that affects you every single day, and a general background feeling of unease. I have had a medical person say that they think I have anxiety, but not been properly diagnosed officially, but I was told I likely do, but never went through the process.
I want to talk about the fact that I feel like maybe not everyone, but a lot more people than you expect have experienced anxiety in some form in their life, but they wouldn't talk about it, or they would just push it aside, which is really hurting and it's really bad. And the reason this has come up in my mind is because of the recent death of the Linkin Park's lead singer. I don't know why it affected me as much as it did. But it did because I felt like this person was suffering a lot and he kept it to himself and he took his life, and it made me really sad because I know that so many other people are suffering like him and they have nowhere to go. And I just wish more people were open about the fact that everyone has anxiety in a way. Everyone has depression. Everyone has mental health issues from time to time.
I mean, the thing about Chester is that he actually didn't entirely keep it to himself. And he spoke openly with many newspapers about how he at points wanted to end his life.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
All his lyrics are full of references to depression. And actually, I think the real problem there is that actually you say stuff, but people don't really take it seriously until you do something. And that's really sad. And that's, I think, the thing that society needs to get better at is if someone says, so often we tweet things like, I'm feeling really awful tonight, but because it's a tweet.
Yeah.
But if you actually said that to a person in real life, if I said to you, some of the things I've tweeted in the past, you'd be worried.
Yeah. Well, for me, for instance, because I just come out of a sickness, it feels much better to be able to tweet oh guys, I have the worst flu and I'm really sick, and everyone will be oh no, I hope you feel better, because everyone knows exactly how that feels. But if I tweeted, guys, I'm having really bad mental health right now, it's almost embarrassing. It's almost so much of who we are is in our brain. So if our brain is sick, that's bad. And
it's sort of, it's get away from the bad juju.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. It feels almost embarrassing to say, I'm not feeling well. And especially for me on my channel, I try and be very upbeat. I make very happy videos. So for me to go, I'm not feeling good today, I feel really sad.
As you did last week.
Yeah, right? That was a scary video for me to upload because it wasn't normal. It was a video of me being openly honest about this bad anxiety thing that I have.
Yeah. What you said earlier, you said that you feel like a lot more people than you know have this. And actually, I think that because we're not taught about symptoms or taught to sort of, if you have a pain in your arm, you go and get it checked out.
Yeah.
So on another level, a lot of people who you don't realize have it will have it. And on another level, you may be going through anxiety and not had a label. You just have this kind of background unease and nervousness all the time, but you've never really put a label on that.
Yeah. And also, I don't want a label, because once I put a label on it, it's now I'm mentally unwell. You know, I'm not a perfectly healthy person. I want to lie to myself and tell myself, but no, I'm great. I'm sunshine, rainbows.
Yeah, but that's because society told you to be scared of that.
Yeah, that's true. Society's telling me I cannot be mentally unwell at any point. To normalize it in my mind, I view being mentally unwell for me, the way that I am, as having a illness. So, I had a cold for 3 days, I got mentally unwell for 3 days, and I felt really depressed and I had anxiety. That's normal. It's a normal thing that anyone can experience. I usually get it when I have huge amounts of stress that happen all at the same time. I'm moving house within a month. I've been traveling way too much in the last month. A lot of stuff has been happening and I have no control over it. That starts stressing me out, which builds up anxiety in my head, and then it all kicks off and it's really scary to me.
Exactly. I have, which I've spoken to you about in our actual lives, but I've got just this, it's not something I've ever spoken about online, but this background sort of constant fear of certain things in my life. Yeah. And it's really, I'd never put a label on it until I went and I had some stuff and chatted to people properly, and I'd never really figured this is not normal. It's not normal or right that I should be constantly in fear of certain things and sort of terrified of every corner in my chapter in my life and stuff. And that's for me was a really big moment where I was oh, I'm not just crazy. This is a thing. And I think by discussing it, and I think a lot of YouTubers talking about it and normalizing it, it won't cure it. It's never going to cure it, but it will make people feel less alone and less kind of freaky.
Like, just because you have money or because you have fame, that doesn't change the fact that on the inside, things aren't always the best.
Exactly what I tweeted about this the other day.
Why don't people understand that?
Yeah, just saying money and fame and all this stuff does not make you happy. In fact,
that's an outer thing.
It generally makes it worse, because if you're somebody like Zoe, who is literally living her entire life in front of paparazzi and in front of fans and in front, like, they can't be in their house without someone waiting at the door, at the gate of their house sometimes. And so it's only going to make it worse.
Yeah.
Like, you don't go as an anxious person. I've never looked at something and been like, oh, this is a really, really bad situation I'm in, but like, oh, look at those bank figures. Am I right? Yes. Like, that's not...
At least I have money.
If anything, it makes it worse. On the flip side of that, money does allow you access to help in the way that, like, so when I wanted to get some help for things, I was hit by the fact that our NHS is chronically underfunded, and I couldn't get more than a certain number of weeks of help without paying, and I just haven't done that anymore.
Yeah, for me, I've wanted to, like, try and get therapy for ages, just because I'd like to talk to a therapist about lots of different things, find out the repressed memories that I just found out I have, lots of stuff, but it's so much effort, there's so many walls, I have to spend money, and not even the money, it's just this,
It's, yeah, and it is, because if you walked in and you were, like, being sick or, like, had a broken arm, they fix you straight away, you're in A&E, done. And that's not to lessen physical illness in any way, but if I want to get help for things, I have to go to my doctor, who then, it depends on... I had a doctor's appointment the other day where I wanted to talk about stuff, and my doctor was so, like, uninterested in my existence, and that's just the type of person that person was, but it's so dependent on who you talk to, how that person's day's going, like...
At least it was free, though, in the UK, that's convenient.
That is the thing I was thinking, though, was, like, I'm so lucky that I can go, oh, that one didn't go well, I'll just book another one, and it not cost me, like, £400.
Yeah, it's just a checkup for a doctor in the US is $75. So, like,
that's disgusting.
Hey, doctor, here's my money.
That's
But I do think therapy is an incredibly important thing that a lot more people should consider. But there's such a negative stigma on it that they just don't. Like I said, I'm now over the stigma. I have a huge issue with walls that come up when I want to do something. The more difficult it is to do, the more I lose interest in it.
And it's also the people who are the exact people who need these help from mental health services are the exact people who are not going to be
have anxiety
confident enough
can't
to do it. Like, they're going to feel like someone who's depressed is going to feel like they're wasting people's time. Like, the first 2 months of my thing, I was just like, I feel like I'm not really worthy to be here, and there's people with bigger problems.
There's people with bigger problems, yeah.
And so, like, I just felt really like, why am I here? Why am I wasting their time? Like, they've got limited resources. And so, if anything, those specific services need to be easier to access, because you have no proof. You have no broken arm or blood or bone sticking out your body. You only have your word. And so you need to be able to go in and go, I'm feeling this thing, and be taken seriously.
Yeah.
And be loved and accepted and made to feel not like you're wasting their time.
In the meantime, though, if you can't get therapy, do you feel like talking to people or friends or family does help a lot?
It depends. I mean, I think you have to pick carefully. Like, I, for example, have never told my family about this. So, sister, if you're watching, I've never mentioned it. It's not that I've tried to hide it. It's just I don't want them to stress about it, because I'm on it.
That's more anxiety.
Yeah, I'm on it, and that's fine. Like, I'm an adult. I can deal with this. But yes, definitely, I would say confiding in people is great.
Well, I find a lot of parents don't take their children seriously on this. I know that from personal experience,
but yeah.
And from a lot of viewers' comments is on my last video, they'll say, I tried to tell my mom I had anxiety, tried to tell my mom I had depression, and she'll just say, no, you're just upset. No, you just move on.
Yeah, or just teenagers.
Yeah, or you're just teenagers going through a phase. And it's like, not necessarily. You kind of need to take this stuff seriously.
Like, even if 9 out of 10 of the people feeling like they're going through something was just being a teenager, just being silly, for that 1 out of 10... you have to take it seriously.
Yeah. Do you think people pretend to have anxiety because it's trendy?
I'm sure there's some people, but that's like with
that's
anything.
Always the counter, like, that I see people tweet, like, well, no, because someone once got out of an assignment by saying he got anxiety about it, and he doesn't actually have anxiety, and I was like, okay, well, he's an asshole.
I mean, there's always going to be
there's people with this
thing. That's my point, is that even if, the same way as if people are being dramatic, if people are making it up, you still need to just take it seriously for the rest of them.
Yeah,
because,
exactly.
Like, it's like with anything, there's always going to be people who are abusing, like, jobs, or abusing benefits, or abusing the NHS, but you have to just sort of get over that and go, the majority of people aren't.
Yeah.
Because there's so much stigma around depression or about anxiety. it's not like people are going, oh, that'll make me really cool, because actually it does make your friends alienate you sometimes, and no one wants that. And so, yes, there'll be people doing it because it's trendy, but the majority of people aren't. And I think you can kind of spot the ones that are, generally. I don't think it's hard.
Personally, I find when I'm having really deep bouts of anxiety, I just need to talk to a friend immediately, just on the phone. And I'll talk about anything. Like, I'll talk about what's causing the issue. I'll talk about what's causing it, so that way I can get it out. And then we switch to something about them, and I want to talk about them, what's going on with them, their love life, blah, blah, blah. And then we go back to me, back to them. And then over time, it's like, it dissipates. And I'm like, I'm okay now. That's just my personal way.
Yeah, because it's like an attack. It's like, as long as you distract from it, for as long as you can whilst that attack passes, then you can help it. It's not going to cure it, but you can help it.
What are your best tips for lessening the anxiety you have when you're really intense with it? Because mine are mostly just trying to count my breaths a little bit and talking to people.
I think you have to really find out what the root cause is, like what your trigger is. Like for me personally, I get really anxious when I feel like I'm wasting my life or unproductive.
Oh yeah, mine's
like,
unproductive.
Yeah, like, and so in that case, but then the problem with that is that the more anxious I feel, the less productive I become. So it's this horrible cycle that I had to forget myself. And actually, I was feeling that for the last few days. And Evan goes, "Hey Luke, do you want to make a video?" And I suddenly like, oh, whoa, yes, I do. And it really pulled me out of like a really crappy few days.
And I'm like sick as a dog. Like,
and you have been as well, like just watching Lord of the Rings and stuff.
I've been watching the extended edition because I was so sick I couldn't do anything, but I knew when you're that sick you just have to. So I was able to tell myself it's okay that I'm wasting 2 days because I'm not wasting it. I'm allowing my body to heal.
Yeah, and I think if you really have an understanding, if you have somebody in your life who has an understanding of how you're feeling, and knows the root causes or your triggers or things like this, I think that can really pull you out of it. Like we sort of did today for each other to a certain extent, because I've had a really horrible week of just, oh, I'm failing, I'm getting nothing done, oh, I'm sinking into my... And actually, that I don't know if you meant to, but that kind of pulled me out of that. Whilst you're still able to do this, quickly organise to meet with friends or to do things, to kind of pull yourself out of that. So like, rather than, once you're in it, it's impossible to pull yourself out. But whilst you are doing well, try and sort of imagine that you will be like that in a few days' time, and set up stuff that will bring you out of it. Whether it is seeing friends, maybe it's not seeing friends, maybe it's watching TV,
or getting work done or something.
Or getting work done, yeah. But like trying to, if you swing between emotions like I do all the time, I think trying, and I suck at this, but really trying to prepare for when you're in a bad rut.
If I can feel anxiety coming on, like, and I know I can feel it, there's like a very light scream happening. It's like, something's gonna go bad. I always go, oh my God, why is that? Oh, that's just anxiety, and that's bullshit. I like it. And literally I have to go, nope, that, and it comes back, and I'm like, nope, you don't, nope, and I have to keep saying nope to it, and that slightly works sometimes, and it's like, I'm still here.
But there's times when that, you just cannot do.
Yeah, I know.
You're just falling into this pit.
Yeah.
And it's really difficult. So I think really opening up to people you trust, who understand, who like, because I was tweeting the other day about how people just cannot understand mental health until they're have a mental health condition.
I could never empathize with people that had anxiety until I experienced it. Genuinely. I think it was like 2 years ago was the first time I experienced it. But before then, people would say it, and I could never fully understand because I never experienced it.
They just think you're being dramatic, or you're being lazy, or that you're being
I didn't
whatever.
think that. I just didn't know.
No, but I mean the majority of people
I didn't know how bad it was. As a happy parting note, if you've never experienced anxiety, but you know someone that does, the best thing you can do is to just listen to them, not talk down to them, and just try and keep them occupied in a way.
Try and trust that you don't understand, and trust that their experience is real and valid.
And you should just be thankful they're opening up to you and saying that they have that, because that is, with the stigma, that's hard enough as it is. So thank them, right? And then have a good time. Make good friends, and then everything be good. Thanks for coming to join me on the Spill the Tea about anxiety.
Don't spill that tea.
Thank you.
Lastly, before we go, I think we should say we really intended this to be a good thing. And if we've messed up or said anything silly, then please let us know in a nice, polite fashion, and we will discuss.
And then hopefully not get anxiety over the comments. Did we make a video on your channel?
It is called It's Okay to Not Be Okay, and I think it will help lots of people.
Good. Go check that out. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you next week, and I hope you're doing well. Stay well.
Stay classy,
Go
San Diego.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.